Hey everybody, we have got a whole world of content out there of true crime and mysterious things and YouTube drama and reaction videos and all that kind of stuff. What I decided is there's so much of that stuff I don't want to repeat it. But what do you do? What do you do? And I came up with something. I've been around a while, as you can tell from my hair and whatever else, looking a little older. I've got quite a few interesting stories to tell you about my so many years of life. I've done all kinds of jobs. Let me tell you about that. I've done anything. I've been a police officer. I've been an artist. I've been a musician. I've been a computer programmer. I've been a janitor when I was a kid. I've done a lot of things, and I've been a lot of places. I've lived anywhere, not anywhere. I've lived from Alaska to Colorado to Georgia. I've seen all 50 states. I've done a lot of stuff, and I think I've got plenty of my own good stories to tell you that are going to be pretty interesting. And today's story, as you can see on the title, is The Mysterious Case of John Crossen. This really happened to me, okay? This really did when I was a young kid. I think I might not even have been in kindergarten. It was somewhere between kindergarten and um, preschool. And when this happened in Colorado, and my parents managed an apartment building. And what we would do on the weekends, when in the summertime, when is my dad was a real outdoorsman, he'd take us up and we'd go fishing and camping and all of that in the mountains. And I really did like it. It was a lot of fun. This is what before I moved to Alaska. I was really young. Went from very young in Colorado up to Alaska. Anyway, we like to do a lot of camping, and that's important to this story because at that time I had myself an imaginary friend. His name was John Crossen. Now I imagine John to look like, for whatever reason, like Richie Rich out of the Playboy, not Playboy, Richie Rich out of the Richie Rich comics that they had. Which I'm trying to think of what I was thinking of, but yeah, Richie Rich, poor little rich boy. That's what I was trying to say. Richie Rich, poor little rich boy was the name of the comic, and I imagined him to look kind of like that, but real. Real blonde hair, not a cartoon, a real little guy. And that's what I imagined him to be like, and I'd play with him. And my parents got a kick out of it. Seeing your kid play with an imaginary friend can be kind of a fun, amusing things for parents, I guess. So John Crossan and I'd have various little adventures and playtime stuff together, and Lincoln Logs and Legos and all that kind of crap. But so anyway, I remember one night, not one night, one time we went camping up into the mountains of Colorado, and my uncle was there and my father was there, and I fell asleep and I had this dream. And I had this dream that John Crossan was talking to me, and we're out in the middle of a campground in Colorado, and there's a lake and a mountain, big mountain range across the lake there somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. And I remember John Crossan asking me, he goes, "Do you really want to see what I look like?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I thought I knew what you looked like, but I'd like, I want to see what you look like." And then what I saw in my dream was this thing rise up from behind the mountains, this colossus, this gigantic thing that looked like a sinister, somewhat evil, Pinocchio looking marionette creature, made of wood and wire and this creepiest looking jack in the box thing you can imagine. And it slowly rose up over the mountains. And I remember its head slowly rotating around and coming back around and looking at me. And I was pretty terrified. I remember you bury your head in something and you scare yourself so bad you wake up. That's what happened. Okay, so we get back home to the town, and my parents noticed I haven't been playing with John Crossan lately anymore, and they said, "Well, where's your buddy John? What happened to John Crossan?" Yeah, and I said, I don't play with him anymore." I think, okay, whatever. Kids are going to be kids. About a month and a half later, we had something very interesting happen. A man moved into the apartment complex my parents were managing, and his name was John Crossan. My parents thought this was pretty cute, and they asked me if I wanted to meet him, and I said no. I did eventually see the guy, and he looked fairly normal, late 20s, early 30s, clean cut, but I didn't have any desire to meet him. Now, in preparation for this video, I did a little drawing. One of my degrees actually in art. So, and I've done comic books. So I did a little drawing of this thing that I best I can remember of what I saw in my dream of this what John Crossen claimed to really look like. And I'm going to show you that now. Three, two, one. This is more or less the thing that I saw. May look a little cartoony, may look a little whatever, but this is the kind of thing I saw coming up over the mountain range when it asked if I wanted to see what it looked like. Well, with that, dear listener, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Neon Wrangler. Um, Next time I post, and maybe later this week, I'll tell you the story of what happened to me when I cut my eye on a car door. It really happened, and I'll go into gory detail. Have a good evening.